So I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this by now if you're a wrestling fan. But there's two news items that broke this week that got people talking. One of them, concerning AEW, has to deal with the fact that there's been a rumor going around for the past couple of months and has become more notable thanks to Jim Cornette's co-host on his Jim Cornette Experience podcast reporting this. And then Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com and Mike Johnson of PW Insider, among others, following up on it. And that is possible tension behind the scenes with EVPs and on-screen talents, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. Now, I don't know if any of this is true, but the fact that you got two very reliable sources backing it up, yeah, there might be, as the old saying goes, smoke, emanating from those rumors, and that's where there's smoke, there has to be some kind of fire. And, a lot of people have pointed out the possible reasons behind this tension or have speculated. Like, Kenny and the Bucks want to, book and push certain talent that they want, and maybe Cody, wants to push certain members of the Nightmare Factory and his Nightmare family, and maybe those, decisions are clashing. Because according to sources close to the situations, not within the company itself, but close to the situation, there are emails exchanged that were not very pleasant. There were emails that were exchanged that were not very pleasant. And right now, we don't know what's really going on. We don't know whether or not this is just something that people like, Jim Cornette's co-host probably made up because, like Cornette, they don't really care about the Bucks or Omega or even AEW in general. We don't know if that could be the case or if there is any legitimacy to it. But one thing that Solomonster pointed out in his Sound Off podcast is that when you take a look at some of the notable visuals that you watch, on television as well as on YouTube, then you start realizing that maybe there is some smoke, maybe there is some fire where that smoke is coming from. Because you don't see Cody on BTE anymore, being the Elite, and you don't see them interacting with each other on screen on Dynamite, Dark, or even Dark Elevation. They're all off doing their own thing. So you have to wonder if maybe that visually is evidence enough to kind of maybe believe that there's something going on. Now, some people have said that, when Tony Khan made the decision to make these guys EVPs, that it wasn't a smart move. That, when you make certain wrestlers, when you put certain wrestlers in charge behind the scenes, that there's going to be a lot of politicking of what they want that differs from what others want and things like that. So a lot of in-house fighting, if you will. So one thing that a lot of people have said that needs to be done is either Cody, the Bucks, and Omega need to come out and address these issues and say that and basically squash them by indicating that there's nothing wrong and that they're nothing but rumors and lies. Or Tony Khan has to be the one, behind the scenes that gets these guys together and gets them on the same page, because this is something that AEW doesn't really need from a publicity standpoint, especially with the decision, if you will, that AEW is, possibly, its future could be in doubt with the deal between Discovery Communications and Warner Media's potential merger. So if I'm Tony Khan, I want to try to nip this in the bud before that deal is finalized, because I don't want to put the future of my premier flagship weekly show, Dynamite, in doubt or in jeopardy because of rumors like this floating about. So we'll see what occurs in the next couple of months. If things start to die down, then maybe that's all these were rumors. But if they start to rise up more, if we start getting more indication that something's going on, then, like I said, if I'm Tony Khan, I nip this in the bud, before it gets way out of hand, and especially before it probably jeopardizes AEW Dynamite's, weekly time slot on Wednesdays because of the potential merger of Discovery Communications and Warner Media. Now, speaking of some other news besides that in wrestling, another one that got people asking why would you go back is the fact that Thea Trinidad, aka Zelina Vega, was spotted at the Performance Center in Florida, the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, filming vignettes with Simone Johnson, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock's daughter, as well as working out. So it seems that Thea is back with the WWE, and a lot of people want to know why would she go back to a company that basically was abusive to her, or didn't let her have her Twitch channel and stuff like that. And apparently the department that was made in WWE that would basically give control of third-party bookings and all that of certain superstars, apparently that department was shut down. Now, we don't know if that was a Nick Khan deal or decision or a Vince McMahon decision. We don't know. But, that department that was made to control the third-party bookings has been, demolished. So we don't know if that led to, Zelina wanting to come back or not. We don't know if it was at the suggestion of her husband, Aleister Black. We don't know. But there is another thing that makes me think that, Zelina had no choice, maybe not just at the suggestion of Aleister Black, but financially didn't have much choice. You see, Twitch right now is going through a situation with the DMCA that's similar but totally different than what YouTube went through. Basically, long story short, when YouTube was in a situation with the DMCA, they were able to work it out. And that anytime you got a copyright strike, it would only last 90 days and then it would be gone. Or they would give you an opportunity to try to resolve this and explain, hey, what I'm doing isn't fair use. Twitch, on the other hand, is way behind on the ball there, to where basically you get a strike, it doesn't go away, it's permanent, and there's no way to resolve it, until the end of the year in December. And the only other way is to email a letter to the party that blamed you for the copyright, try to show them the video, the footage, or the copyright thing that you got copyrighted for. But a lot of that's in flux right now because, sometimes when you try to show what you got copyrighted for, it's already been automatically deleted. So yeah, Twitch right now is not doing so well when it comes to DMCA situations. And a lot of content creators over there, partners if you will, are being struck down. And, they can't remove these strikes because they're permanent, and that's hurting them financially. So I think Zelina, because she hasn't been on there for a while, has decided, she better just go back to WWE and try to regain the finances she once had there, because it looks like her Twitch finances, which were big for her, are not going to be, there much longer if she remains, which is why she hasn't been on there for quite some time. That's just my assumption, and I could be wrong about that. But what do you guys think? What do you think the reason is for her return to WWE? But that's all I'm going to say, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like, and I'm out.